Do you breathe purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
It's Hoist the Colors, Friday, May 17th, the final day of the regular season for ECU baseball, as they will play a doubleheader against the Rice Owls, hoping to wrap up a conference championship. They have to win both to guarantee themselves an outright conference title. We'll touch on that as ECU wins the series opener last night, 8-2, as Trey Savage once again has another strong start. Pirates hit 2 3-run homers, and they will head into tonight, or I should say this afternoon, 2:30, the doubleheader will start, looking to complete the regular season crown, but it won't be easy with the pitching situation. All right, Stephen Igo here, Philip Pilkington behind the glass on this Friday. Philip, are you having a better morning thus far than Scotty Scheffler?
I am. Other than I realized I didn't put the host in the middle on our trip box. I hope you don't yell at me. Sometimes I get yelled at if the host is not in the middle.
It's all good. It doesn't bother me one bit.
Okay.
Would not have even noticed if you didn't say anything.
Okay. Well, Joey Football's in the middle for our radio audience and our little trip box. So if you want to tune into our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter pages, you can see how pretty we all look on this Friday, where we have not had a mud shot taken of any of us yet. Knock on wood, I'm having a much better day than Scotty Scheffler. How about you, Igo? You having a good morning?
I am. Other than the fact that, honestly, it feels like a Saturday because ECU baseball played last night, and Thursday night series openers are weird. But
yeah.
So I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm kind of like low energy. I mowed the grass this morning. It was kind of sluggish.
That sounds like a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need to get this done because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. But we got it done. I'm here in studio. Joe Samson, how about your morning? Have you been arrested yet?
No, I've not been arrested. To the people who would have thought I had been, no. Especially after the Canes game last night, I did not find a way to cross state lines and commit a felony in New York to try and take out some Rangers fans. So, no, I am still here. We are not on house arrest. There is no ankle bracelet, and there are no cuffs.
Glad to hear that. Glad to see we're all here and did not have to get bailed out of jail this morning. So we'll maybe touch on the Scotty Scheffler situation. I mean, everybody's talking about it. So you can get all that coverage whenever you want. He's actually playing right now and is that last check. Let's see here. -1 through 6 holes. 5 under for the tournament thus far. So just rolling out of jail, playing some golf on this Friday. All right, so we got a lot to get to, guys. We'll discuss ECU Rice here to open the show here in a second. We've got debate class part 2 later in the show. Looking forward to that. It's going to revolve around ECU in the College World Series, but also tying it into ECU football and other sports. We may get in that discussion as well. We've got the NFL schedule release. That's out. I think the Broncos and Jets play week 4. We've got Broncos-Panthers mid-season too. So we'll get into that discussion. But good to see the Pirates win last night. We got to talk about the Canes being eliminated as well, unfortunately for Joe. But the Pirates get back in the win column. They snapped the 5-game skid. And, Joe, it was just good to taste victory again. And I still don't think ECU played crisp, but good to see the Pirates win when they need to.
Yeah, the Hyphen kid played great. I mean, that was a huge RBI for him to kind of get the things going that they needed. Justin Wilcoxon, can you please find another year of eligibility? Please. And Savage looked as sharp as he has all year. So for him to kind of come into form again, there was a little concern, not from us, but from other people about his arm holding up towards this back half of the season. They had to shut him down last year before the tournament. He's looked great.
Philip, you were in Clark LeClaire Stadium. Your thoughts as the Pirates get their 38th win of the season?
This team looks no different than they've looked all year, and I think that was important. You know, Joe talks about the things that happened on the field, and that was great, but the body language just did not seem like a team that was on a 5-game losing streak. The emotion they played with was not over-exaggerated when good things happened, like, oh my goodness, we're about to snap a win streak. Seems like when things went rough early, and it wasn't really rough, it was just a well-executed hit and run by Rice. The Navy Blue team, I do know their colors, Igo.
There you go.
I know that Rice is Navy Blue.
What color is D.H. Conley?
Blue and gold, right?
Yep.
There we go. Got it. It's blue.
There we go.
Thought it was purple. But anyways, hey, maybe I'm colorblind. Maybe that's what it is. They're kind of near each other on the color wheel. But I thought the team played with good level-headedness, good energy, and the only really extra emotion that I saw, and it had nothing to do with the fact that they were on a 5-game losing streak, was the emotion of Trey when they took him out of the game, and he kind of made a longer walk to the dugout. He looped out towards third base and waved to the left field megaphones and realized that this very well could be his last time pitching at Clark LeClaire Stadium. And that was kind of tough to watch, but it was a great moment.
No doubt. Trey Savage. We'll go ahead and get to our East Coast agency Pirate of the Week if you got it, Philip. It is going to be Trey Savage. And, again, it was not his best start statistically, but you have to remember, day short rest. Started, of course, Friday last week, now going on Thursday. And throws a season-high 119 pitches, 5 2/3 innings. Only allowed 2 hits, 1 run. He did have a season-high 4 walks, struck out 7. Rice had a very deliberate plan, I thought, to just simply foul off many of the fastballs near the top of the zone, around the zone, and lay off the off-speed low. They did an effective job getting his pitch count up. But Trey Savage gets the win. He is 11-1, guys, on the season. At this point, he's a shoo-in for the American Pitcher of the Year. He's got an ERA just under 2, ridiculous strikeout-to-walk ratio, and he'll be up for some national awards. And he's a guy, projected top 10 pick, should be one of the top pitchers in college baseball. Whether he wins the award or not, it's going to be hard to beat the Hagen Smith kid from Arkansas. But Trey Savage just had a phenomenal year, and so much has leaned on his shoulders the last few weeks with Zach Root, Wyatt Shinkman largely unavailable. Cliff Godwin said post-game, guys, that those two unlikely to throw this weekend. I should say, by the way, ECA, East Coast Agency, bringing you our Pirate of the Week. Trey Savage, East Coast Agency, has now opened their Greenville, North Carolina office. Call Drew Moeller, 252-341-8818. Protecting your home, family, and business is our priority. East Coast Agency, your trusted choice for coverage in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Appreciate Tim Vliet and Drew Moeller, everybody over at East Coast Agency. All right, so Pirates get the win, but Cliff Godwin said after the game, unlikely to see Zach Root and Wyatt Shinkman this weekend. We saw Ethan Norby pitch out of the bullpen last night, 34 pitches over 2 2/3, so he could come back today. But, got to be honest, guys, I'm starting to get a little concerned about Zach Root and Wyatt Shinkman just in terms of the postseason. Like, if they're not going to throw this weekend, are they really going to throw in the conference tournament? And then it becomes a matter of, if they are available for a regional, Joe, what is what's their level of effectiveness, A, and B, how many innings can they give you? That's my concern at this point. If they do return, which it sounds like, I still think ECU thinks they'll be back, but then you just don't really know what you are going to get from those guys.
It's definitely one of those things you're hesitant. It's like having another spring training where you got to ramp up. For them, obviously the season starts much earlier than the MLB does, but the ramp up's the same for the pitchers. You saw Savage, he went 5.1 yesterday, but his normal, around 90 pitches, around 100 pitches as far as what he's throwing in a game. You can't build Root up to that with just one tournament. So if you do see him in the regionals, it'd be like a spot open, maybe 3 innings at the max. They could use him as like a middle reliever almost, go with an opener, and then use him for like 4, 5, 6, and then go to the bullpen 7, 8, 9. I wouldn't anticipate him to be a true starter, especially having not thrown this past time.
What do you think, Philip, at this point on these guys? I mean, it's just look, I've said all along, if ECU does not have Zach Root and Wyatt Shinkman, I don't think they can make it through a regional. I mean, they would just have to – the offense would have to play out of its mind. So many guys would have to step up. Are you starting to get concerned at this point on those guys' availability?
Of course. I think, you'd be unwise not to be concerned. In a perfect world with what we sit at right now, Zach throws an inning on Tuesday, 2 innings on either Saturday or Sunday, and then he's good to go to throw 60 pitches in a regional. I think that's realistic if he throws Tuesday. Wyatt, it's a little better because, of course, he's a reliever, but still, it's a lot. And I think the unfortunate thing right now is ECU has good arms. We've said it all year. The problem is your fall off, and I think we trust the same amount of guys any other team in the country trusts. The problem is our fall off after the guys we trust to the guys we're a little worried about is more drastic than some other teams. Take like a Duke, for example. They've only got 5 or 6 arms they truly trust, but there are other guys that are like holding their breath, but they're guys they hold their breath for better than the guys we hold our breath for, or at least have been to this point. If ECU wants to win a regional, somebody is going to have to step up who we have not seen pitch consistently all year and give you 4 at least innings of darn near shutout baseball. Like, if we would have to have a Chris Kaler against Elon the first time we played Elon, we would need a performance like that from him or Charlie Hodges or Jaden Winter in order to win a regional. And if one of those guys doesn't step up, like you said, I guess this offense could score 18 runs in every game, right? One of the best offenses in the country. We're not Austin Peay, but we're pretty good. But what are the odds of that happening? You'd have to do it in almost every game, except for the game that Trey started, and maybe the game that Ethan Norby went out there and hopefully gives you 5 innings. Yeah,
and honestly, you're in that situation today where like you kind of it's another trial run, which unfortunately you can't really have a trial run when you're playing for a conference championship, guys. But like, obviously Savage ain't going to be able to throw. Norby is going to be limited. We do know Danny Bill will likely have a long outing at some point today. But outside of that, you're going to have to throw a lot of arms out there. You don't want to play a doubleheader this time of year, but you're having to because of the rain, and you've got a conference championship on the line. So this is almost another Duke-like trial run where these arms and the offense are going to have to step up, Joe. So, I think if this was a regular 3-game series spread across 3 days, the Pirates sweep it, no problem. But today is going to be a challenge, 18 innings, unless somebody run to rule somebody, of trying to find enough arms to get through it.
Absolutely. I talked to Coach O about how you approach it. He said you almost approach it like it's a long 18-inning game instead of 2 separate ones. Because between the momentum and the quick turnaround after the first game, your guys that threw the first game may throw the second game. You could see Ethan Norby go 4 innings today and then throw 2 in the second half of game 2. You have to approach it that way. And I think what makes it so difficult for ECU, and Philip mentioned it, is the guys you trust, you can only throw them so many times in a weekend. And when you're going back-to-back guys and you need a Chris Kaler to throw 27 pitches for you, you need a Charlie Hodges to come in and throw 15 for you. Who do you have in game 2 that you can turn to and kind of steal that game away if it does go to a rubber match?
All right, Robert Dedrick on YouTube says, does the American non-conference record justify its low RPI, or is it like rankings and just perceived to be a low RPI conference? Now, Robert, the RPI is a formula that is based upon the results in those games. So it's a combination of the American not playing the strongest non-conference schedule and also losing many of those games. So it is what it is. Like Rice last night, ECU beats Rice, but the Pirates they dropped from, let's see here, they dropped from 12, I think, to 16 in RPI, not only because they lost to Rice, but because, all right, so they're at 15. But you lost a spot to Oregon State. You lost a spot to Virginia, Oklahoma. So even by winning a game and by winning 2 today, you're actually going to lose RPI points. So this, again, Philip, we talked about this a lot. You need to win and hope teams around you kind of stumble too. But the Pirates, at the end of the day, they got to take care of their business first and foremost.
Yeah, I think so. And, the committee does look at RPI. We know that. But I think as long as the Pirates take care of business, the committee is not going to punish you for winning a baseball game like the RPI will. Now, the committee could applaud teams behind you. For example, Virginia. They're playing Virginia Tech this weekend. Oregon State is – I can't remember who Oregon
State's at Arizona.
At Arizona, who's number 14 in the country according to D1 Baseball. So there you go. In D1 rankings, that's number 6 against number 14. So they can be rewarded. And the unfortunate thing is right now when we go to this conference tournament, you mentioned this conference is 11th in RPI. You can only hurt yourself by losing conference tournament games. The teams around you can help themselves because they are beating other teams around you or teams that are ahead of you. Unfortunately, the best thing for ECU right now is, well, of course, win, and then hope that there are like bid stealers winning the SEC and the ACC and even the Pac-12. You need some of those teams that cannot jump ECU in the RPI to come out there and beat those teams. You need Pittsburgh to win. You need UCLA to win. And I was going to say Missouri, but they haven't won a conference game, I think, all year, so I don't know if they're going to make the conference tournament. But somebody who's bad in the SEC, there can't be that many teams. Auburn, maybe. I don't know what their ranking is, but are they getting into the SEC tournament? Somebody like that.
I think Auburn and Mizzou both are missing it.
Okay.
So basically, anybody, Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Florida. Florida's not ranked. You need a team like Florida to go up and win the SEC tournament.
So ECU today,
they very well could.
minus 7 RPI points for each win. And They get more points in the RPI if Columbia beats Penn, which is, and if Ryder beats
Let's
Manhattan.
go. What are they, the Lions?
The Columbia Lions.
Lions and darn the Quakers. Boo
Yep.
Quakers.
Pulling for the Ryder Bronx against Manhattan. So big game there because Ryder can give ECU
Manhattan has a baseball team. Where do they play?
I guess Manhattan.
I know, but I think of how much real estate is in Manhattan. Like, how does Manhattan and Fordham have a baseball team? Like, I would just call up the Yankees and the Mets and be like, yeah, we don't have to bust our team, but can we just play in your stadium?
It says Clover Stadium in Pomona, New York. Have you ever been there, Joe?
Where's Pomona?
No, I haven't been to that. I have been to Fordham Stadium, though. That is right in the Bronx.
Oh, it's in the Bronx. So they have to bus up, they have to bus up, 60 streets from Fordham? Because Fordham's, in, Midtown, I think. The football stadium's kind of in up western Manhattan, but that's a long bus ride up for the baseball field, I feel like.
So, it's
New York geography.
I know. But still, it's every day for practice. I don't know. It seems like a long bus ride, but okay.
They'd probably be better off just walking. But
they would. I almost walked from the Manhattan to Bronx one time going to the Yankees game. Not the full way, but it was the train wasn't stopping at the stop next to us, so we had to go up another 20 streets. It was rough. Still saw first pitch though.
Still made it. Still made it in time. Quick update on the American standings before we get a break in. So ECU, of course, has the 1-game lead today, and if they win both, there's no way UTSA can catch them. Now, the Pirates, just by winning one game today, can clinch a share of the title. But if they lose one and UTSA wins the next two, UTSA would also clinch a share and be the number 1 seed due to the tiebreaker. So 2 wins today guarantees it outright. 1 win guarantees a share. UTSA plays FAU tonight, I think at 5 or 6. Don't know the exact start time. They beat FAU 14-1 yesterday, so they stay a game behind. Tulane and Charlotte split a doubleheader, so they're both pretty safely in the tournament at this point. Rice still fighting for a spot. They're down to the 8th place along with FAU at 11-14. South Florida lost to UAB. They need to win their final 2 just to have a shot to make the tournament, and they need ECU to probably sweep Rice. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated on the American standings, but that's how it looks right now.
FAU's let up 42 runs already this week. Is that what you're
telling me? Correct. If FAU apparently has the worst pitching staff in America.
Maybe they've been throwing. I love my boy Cam Klontz, but I don't think he's practiced pitching in 2.5 years. Maybe they got some guys like that on their roster, and that's who they threw this week, hoping they can win Friday and Saturday. They're saving all their good arms.
Yeah,
Let's hope.
I think at least at Florida Gulf Coast, that was the plan, and their 28-18 loss. But I think yesterday they threw their ace, and he got shelled by UTSA.
Oh,
so they are in trouble. And honestly, if they get swept and USF wins too, I believe they could jump out. Yeah. USF could jump in, FAU could fall out.
Could Memphis still get in? They're 2 games out. I guess we got to know how the tiebreakers work. But if they win both of theirs and FAU and Rice gets swept.
So Memphis swept Rice on the road, so they would definitely have the tiebreaker over Rice. I don't know what they did against FAU.
And then it would probably be a 3-way tiebreaker, and then it depends on if South Florida won 1, they would be in that mix.
So you could technically have a 4-way tie.
Yeah, for last.
If crazy things happen.
Oof.
The bubble bath that is the American Athletic Conference, as Casey Ramaley put it. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. The NFL schedule is out. The EA Sports college football trailer is out. ECU did make an appearance. We'll discuss that. We got debate class coming up later surrounding a topic with ECU making the College World Series. We'll discuss that as well. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
New Toyotas, 0 down and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas. $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease. You own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors, with locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Boom, dum, dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you money.
What's happening?
Tell me what's happening. Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Steve and I Go on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. On this Friday, Philip and I were having a discussion about the softball NCAA regionals going on, and I thought I'd heard that every SEC softball team has made a regional this year, and it looks like that is correct, Philip, as I'm going through it now. Ole Miss, which went 7-17 in the SEC, got an at-large bid in the softball tournament. So
Wow.
crazy things happening in the softball world, but all those teams are above 500 overall with high RPIs, so I guess they just get an automatic bid. All right, Joe Samson with us on this Friday, May 17th edition. We got the triple box going. He's in the center because Philip does not do his job, apparently. Really, if you wouldn't have mentioned that, Philip, I would have never even mentioned it on my end either. All right, the NFL schedule is out. We'll start there, gentlemen. And look, it's mid-May, but the NFL is always the topic of conversation, I feel like, in the sports world. So we'll start first with Joe, his New York Jets. How do you feel like the schedule line up for the Jets, and any games in general kind of jump off to you, whether it be Jets or otherwise?
Yeah, first one jumps off is Jets-Titans. It's within driving distance. May actually get to see Aaron Rodgers play a snap of football if he makes it out of a Monday Night Football game. But the thing that stuck out to me was them sticking their home opener on a Thursday night. They played the Patriots for the first game in MetLife in week 3 on a Thursday. I thought that was kind of crazy to just throw a Thursday night game at them that early, but that's just how it goes. I am excited to see the Ravens and the Chiefs be the opening night game. That should be a very interesting matchup with all the changes that they've had as far as rosters go. Bring in Derrick Henry, how that's going to look for the Ravens. Keaton Mitchell should be healthy by then, so that could be a factor. So those immediately jump off the page. Our normal rivalry of week 4, the offseason Champions Bowl.
It always feels like it's like week 4 or 5 Jets Broncos. Like, what's the deal with that?
I have no idea. I'm not Roger Goodell.
I'm just like I'm just not excited about this year. I'm just not.
You got Zach Wilson.
I love the NFL. Now I've got Zach Wilson's what's it called? The premium vinyl figure sitting in my office. I have no idea what to do with it. It's like a voodoo doll. Philip, what do you think about the Panthers?
I'm confused as to why we have 5 4:00 games. Now, 2 of them are on the West Coast, or one of them's in Denver, so they have to be 4:00 games. But we just have like a bunch of rando 4:00 games, and obviously we're not getting the 4:00 game of the week, the 4:25 game. 3 of them are 3 consecutive weeks right in the middle of the NASCAR playoffs. So be right in the middle of the NASCAR playoff race. Like, come on, we are Panthers fans. We care about racing. Also, they're at home the weekend of the race. That used to not be legal, which is dumb. I know that I feel bad for our old friend CJ Schaefer, who used to work at Pirate Radio. He is a diehard Steelers fan, lives in Atlanta now, has tickets to the Atlanta race, and week 1, the Steelers come to the Falcons. So he's not going to get to see his Steelers play. Rough. And he's not even one of those bandwagon Steeler fans. His family's actually from Pennsylvania, so that stinks. But no, honestly, I haven't done a too deep dive into the whole schedule for everybody to point out anything other than the fact that, you got to pay $400 a month for TV in order to get everything because you have to have every streaming service because now we have games on stupid Netflix. Like, come on. Why does Netflix have live TV? Like, I would be fine if all I had to do was pay for, like, streaming services, but you still have to have cable because so many games are on TNT and TBS. Like, it's just dumb.
And what are the chances that there's a...
Well, not NFL games, but sports in general.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no NFL games on TBS and TNT.
What were you saying, Igo?
Live stream on Netflix, there's zero shot that this goes off without a hitch, right? I mean, there's going to be somebody's
going to
crashing.
mess up on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to leave the NBA or NFL and go back to the NBA.
Yeah, what's the next?
Kason O'Malley is in the chat, and he says Panthers will make the playoffs, and also the Panthers will win a Super Bowl before the Canes win the Cup. All right, the Panthers, A, will not make the playoffs. B,
he said they'll make the playoffs before the Canes win the Cup, I think.
I think there was a comma there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Panthers will make the playoffs, and also the Panthers will win a Super Bowl berth before the Canes win the Cup. I think he's saying the Panthers are making the playoffs this year, which is...
No.
Blasphemy.
So that's not happening.
I'm looking at the schedule. This is blasphemy.
How old is David Tepper?
Not old enough.
Well, I'm just saying, if he,
too young.
Whenever it will be after his lifetime that the Panthers win a Super Bowl. So as long as the Canes don't win one in the next 40 years, then yeah, you might have something going there, Kason.
Hey, well, as long as the Canes keep choking in the playoffs, then there's a shot. So we'll get to the Canes in a second. I do want to make a proposal to you, Philip.
Okay.
So we've got Broncos hosting the Panthers Sunday, October 27th. I think Denver plays. I think ECU plays that weekend, but I'm not excited about that game enough to try to go to Denver to watch it.
Okay.
But the next week, Denver is at the Baltimore Ravens, and ECU will not be playing that weekend because they have a Thursday game against somebody else. Would you be interested in going to Broncos-Ravens on November 3rd?
You're going to hate me. I have a wedding in Charlotte on November 2nd.
What about November 3rd?
I mean, the only problem is, like, I would have to leave to get to Greenville because it's a 1 o'clock game, right?
It is a 1 o'clock game.
So we would have to leave Greenville by, like, 9. No, we'd have to leave Greenville earlier than that. We'd have to leave Greenville by, like, 7:30. So I would have to, like, pull an all-nighter after the wedding to drive here.
All right, Joe, I have a proposal for you.
Here's the thing. So, when the schedule came out, though, I was with Parker Eason from ECU Marketing, and my roommate's a Broncos fan. And he was like, let's all 4 go to this game. And I was like, I think I have a wedding. Let me check. He was already ready to buy 4 tickets. So if you want Parker to go with you, even though he's a Cowboys fan, because he wants to go to every NFL stadium, Parker is in. My roommate Thomas, who I know you don't know, is would tag along. But as long as you're good to go with Parker, that is somebody who you can go with.
I've gotten to know Parker pretty well. He's a loyal subscriber to Hoist the Colors. So we can make it happen. And Joe will be our 4th person.
Bailey will not. Bailey, Parker's wife, will go to any sporting event that he goes to. So that's your 4th. Joe can be the 5th.
Joe will be the 5th wheel.
The word I can't say, seat in the back.
Have you ever been to the Ravens Stadium, Joe?
I've driven past it. Haven't been in it. We went to Camden Yards when we were up in Baltimore for the Orioles Yankees. But other than that, no, never made it to the Ravens game.
So here's the thing, Igo. If we do go to the Panthers Broncos game, it would only cost us a plane ticket.
You got free tickets?
Mike, when I was in Colorado last week, 2 weeks ago, one of my cousins who has season tickets like, hey, if you guys want to come up to the game, just let me know. And then obviously we have many free places to stay.
And I don't think Panthers Broncos gonna be a hot ticket.
No. So
it's a 425 game too.
Yeah, I can't guarantee free tickets. I can guarantee a free place to stay, and at least probably cheap tickets. There's a possibility for free tickets, and then it's cost us a plane ticket. So there's that.
So ECU again. This is November. This would be October 27th. Let me see who ECU plays this weekend.
I think they're at. Is that when they're at Army?
Yeah, no, that's not at Army. I don't think.
October 27th. So on the 26th of October, they host Temple.
Oh, we can miss a Temple game. Who cares?
One of the few most likely wins on ECU's schedule. All right.
Temple tough.
Temple tough, baby. Jeff Eli on YouTube says, congratulations to the Panthers on their eventual Super Bowl XCIX championship. That translates to Roman numerals 99. So Super Bowl 99 champions, Carolina Panthers. Seem reasonable, Philip?
Last year was 58.
Sure.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you every Super Bowl, but like the last 2 or 3 years are always cloudy because like I haven't looked at them enough.
That's more the
to
number.
Remember. Yeah,
it's more the number.
99. I mean, look, that's great for me. I plan to still be here at that point in 2065. The only thing is my grandmother really wants to see them win a Super Bowl in her lifetime, and I don't know if she would still be around by that point. So
we may not be around by that point.
We might not, but. Yeah, my grandma who bought season tickets year one, ever since Tepper's on the team, she said she's firmly, she's content now with the fact that she'll never see him win a Super Bowl, but she kind of tears up when she says it. So,
the shoe might take me out before Meemaw.
That's true. Shoes.
Speaking of not winning a championship, Carolina Hurricanes, although they have won one, the last handful of years have had opportunities to get there. They've had the teams to do it, just have not been able to deliver in the playoffs. They had a valiant effort, come back from 3-0, make it 3-2. Looked like they were going to win last night, and then they pulled a New York Rangers and choked in the third period. What happened, Joseph?
You stopped playing hockey. They played 42 minutes worth of actual offensive hockey, aggressive on the boards, trying to get in front of the goalie, screening it, playing well back on the back checks. And then all of a sudden, last 18 minutes, Chris Kreider decided he was Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier all in one, and he scores a natural hat trick and then puts the coffin into it with the empty netter. But nobody's going to remember the empty netter. They're just going to see a 5-3 score after you were up 3-1. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got, I think it's 15 of the 18 active players on the roster right now who are facing some form of free agency, whether it's restricted or unrestricted, which especially in hockey, or restricted free agents, you can get draft compensation back depending on the contract somebody else offers you, as well as you getting to match it. So it'll be a very interesting offseason for Don Waddell and the Canes.
Isn't Brenda Moore's contract up too?
Yes.
I mean, there's no way he doesn't get re-signed, right?
There's rumors Seattle wants to throw like $10 million at him a year.
Forsland and Brenda Moore in Seattle.
Yeah, I just think he's got kids. I think his son's still in high school.
Yeah, I think so.
They've grown up in Raleigh. I mean, who wants to live in Seattle? Ugh.
His number is literally in the rafters.
Yeah.
Brenda Moore is up in the rafters. You
they've
cannot
got
let
some
him leave.
roots here. I don't think he leaves. Yeah. I don't think he wants to leave.
I don't think so either.
So the Canes, I mean, they still, obviously we'll see what happens around their young core, but they still should be in contention for the next several years, right?
They should still be in contention, yeah. They've just run into juggernaut after juggernaut the last 4 seasons. Last year you ran into the Panthers, who took the Knights to 6 in the Stanley Cup final. The year before that, you ran into, I want to say it was the Lightning, who were headed towards either their second or third straight ring at one point, and then you lose in one of the early rounds in Game 7 to another Lightning before that. You've run into great teams.
You lost in 5 2 years ago to the Lightning, by the way.
It was 5 in 2 years. Thank you.
Yeah.
Last hockey
Still
question
juggernaut.
Before we get a break. Joe, do your former New York Rangers, do they have the team to win the Cup now?
It depends who they play. If we were talking about this off air before you got here, as Philip said, if they play the Bruins, yeah, they're going to be fresh. They're going to sweep the Bruins in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they'll be fresh towards whatever juggernaut that they've had to fight now through the West with all those games possibly going to 7. Or if it's the Panthers, it could be a dogfight, and either they sneak away in 7 battles and bruised, or they don't make it at all. So it's going to depend on that series on the other side for sure.
All right, Bruins-Panthers Game 6 tonight, right, Philip?
Yes, sir.
So we'll see if the Bruins can force a Game 7.
Yeah, okay, that ain't happening.
We'll get a break in. We'll come back, and we'll have debate class, second week in a row. This week's topic, what is the worst ECU football record you would accept to trade a guaranteed trip to the College World Series for ECU baseball? We'll talk about that. We may also get into some other discussions around what we would trade for other scenarios for ECU to succeed in certain sports. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Inner Banks Media and 107.9 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
Next show, May 23rd with Captain Mike and Shipwrecked, a tribute to Jimmy Buffett.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Medium rare with mustard be nice. Heaven on earth with an onion slice. Cheeseburger in paradise.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Inner Banks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
Drink up me hearty yo-ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome in, Hoist the Colors. It is Friday, May 17th, a football Friday. We're claiming it as such because the schedule was dropped this week. We got into some discussion with Joe Samson about the schedule in our recent segment. Now we're back here. We're going to have a little bit more football discussion in a way because it is time for debate class. Again, Philip Pilkington behind the glass, Joe Samson online. All right, so this week's topic, I just had it, now I have to find it again. All right, today's debate, we'll start here, and this could take us in a multitude of directions. What is the worst ECU football record you would accept to trade a guaranteed trip to the College World Series? ECU, of course, has the dubious distinction of being the team in college baseball with the most postseason appearances without a trip to Omaha. We all know this. It has been several. So it's too many to even count at this point. I think it's well over 30. We're still waiting on that to happen. ECU football is the most important financial vehicle, I would say, to the region, definitely to ECU athletics. So you have to take that into account. We'll start with the man who played ECU football himself, Joseph Samson. What would you accept for ECU football? How low would you go for a guaranteed trip to the College World Series?
I need to preface this. I thought it was coming this year. I thought we had already sold our souls to the gods of Omaha when we went 2-10 and we were sitting and cruising well up until this last series down in Tulane. So 2-10 is probably my answer. That hurt, man. Like, just as a former player, as an alumni, trying to cover it. I mean, that hurt to try and weave through all the things going on and the changes that were coming. And you saw the writing on the wall for how the offense was working. And you went through 2 quarterbacks in a system where you really had no quarterbacks. So 2-10 is probably my answer. It hurts so bad to sit there every Saturday knowing that you think you're going to get out there and turn the tide and you're not. But if it would have meant going to Omaha this year, and you kind of take it for granted and you see how the changes can go, but I don't know if I can sit through another season worse than 2-10.
Felipe.
You know, the fact that we're coming off a rough season, and I know that it would, make Coach Houston lose his job, have to uproot his family. I don't know. I don't have an exact number. But for me personally, just, all the other outside stuff aside, it means they go 0-12. Hey, once you break down that door, you're good to keep going. I think they would keep going. I think Cliff Godwin will 100% stay. So if I had to do 1-0-12 season to go to finally say we made it to Omaha, yeah, I would take it from a personal standpoint. But all those external factors, financial repercussions and all that, Coach Houston getting fired, I don't know. That's tough to answer.
I'm with Joe. I don't know if I can sit through another season like last year. I think 2-10 is the worst. I'm really hoping it happens this year as a result of the 2-10 season. Like, Pirate fans deserve it, because I still remember trying to do this show every Monday, Philip, after losses, and how painful it was, and answering those phone calls. When are we going to fire Donnie Kirkpatrick? When are we going to do this, that, and the other? And it sucks, man. It was awful. And, I can't do it again. I don't want to do it again. Mike Houston doesn't want to do it again. I think 2-10 is the worst I would go. And honestly, if they can't make Omaha this year after the 2-10 season as that trade, I don't know. I don't know what lower. Maybe we just never make it to Omaha at this point.
So I got a question. You wouldn't want to sit through another tough year. I get that. Would you guys take a 1-year death penalty in football to go to Omaha? And just no football season?
No football is better than 0-12.
Okay.
But, I mean,
is it self-imposed?
Yeah, we just say, you know what, we're selling our football team for 1 year.
We're just redshirting everybody.
We're just redshirting everybody.
Everybody's going to leave.
Yeah. No, but you knew they weren't going to, you know what I mean? Just like
everybody leaves anyways with the portal.
Yeah. Yeah, just, hey, we're not going to have a game for season for 1 year. We're just going to fake and lie and say we have COVID all 12 games, and we get to go to Omaha because of it.
I mean, I've gone 4-6. That sucks. That first year with Houston, we were 4-6. You're getting your tail kicked on Saturdays and coming in on Sunday.
No,
4-8. Sorry. No, COVID was 3-6. I'm talking about the season before that, 4-8. 4-8 beat UConn, and we were like, wow, that was exhilarating. I cannot imagine doing that again.
Beating UConn was the season highlight.
So you never answered my question, Joe. Would you take a 1 year, no games at all?
Yeah, I'd take the 1 year death penalty. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Casey Romelli says he would take a 0-12 football season for real. UCF did have a winless season, and then they ended up making the Access Bowl or whatever they call it as American champions a few years later. So it's possible to bounce back, but it's just. I just don't know.
They were the national champions a couple of years
later. That is true. They were national champs, self-proclaimed.
No. Woof.
So I can't go any 2-10, man. It was disgusting. Let's not do it again.
It was painful.
Especially with this schedule, guys. If ECU goes 2-10 with this schedule, I'm out. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm out.
I'll eat another shoe.
Joe will eat another shoe. Philip will he'll be making his trip to Omaha.
Yeah.
Waiting for ECU's arrival. All right, so another part of this discussion, Casey Romelli kind of hints at it. He said he would take a 30-loss baseball season for a Pirates Sweet 16 run. So here's my thing, guys. I don't even care about the Sweet 16. Just get me into the dang tournament. Would you guys take a losing record in baseball or worse to see ECU make the big dance? Philip.
No, solely because I think if we had that bad of a year, it would like tank the program as a whole. And like I don't know if we'd ever be able to get it back to where we're at. If we could just like lose 30 games, lose 40 games, and then just kind of be right back to being like, backdoor national championship contenders, sure. But I think the repercussions would be so bad, and then we would just be a nothing school. Like right now we're a baseball school. We would just be like a women's lacrosse school or something, or swimming.
In 2017, ECU had its worst year under Cliff Godwin. They went 32-28, not quite 30 losses. They did almost make the American. They did make the American championship. They almost made the NCAA. They lost in the tournament championship to Houston, but they did rebound from that year.
But everybody got hurt like the first week of the season. Like it was still a good team, and like
that was
it wasn't as
year.
much of. I mean, the portal had just kind of became a thing, and like everybody stayed. We just didn't lose guys. They didn't just like bail out.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a bad year and a major coaching change, then your program could fall apart quickly in this era. But for me, and I'll let Joe comment on this in a second here with his take, now that he's apparently a huge ECU basketball fan. Look, I was around for the CIT run, and we're talking about the dang CIT, and it was electric. You give me one great ECU basketball run, one selection Sunday, and Greenville would be on fire. I just want to experience it one time. So give me a losing season of baseball. I have faith the Pirate culture will bounce back. I want to see ECU in the big dance in my lifetime. You want to talk about your grandma not seeing the Panthers win a championship. We may not see ECU basketball make the big dance at this rate, guys. So we need that to happen. I'm trading it all day. Give me the Pirates in the big dance. Joe.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. I don't think Greenville would rally around it.
You crazy.
I don't think even if we had that kind of run and had the positive season with everything else building up and we were on the cusp and we made a run in the American tournament, anybody would really care up until they got to that selection Sunday. I truly don't think that basketball has that impact right now with everything that's gone on, with how they're trying to turn the tide of the program. I think it's less of an impact right now than it would have been for the other sports. Like if you were going to tell me 30-loss season in baseball means a CFP appearance for ECU football, like people would be like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it would be the same weight for an NCAA tournament berth with how the team is right now.
I beg to differ, just based off what I saw in the CIT. The CIT, guys, Greenville
I beg to differ off what I saw when the women did it.
When was that, Igo? What year was that?
That was 2012/13.
So 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, and people are
Plus
starving
pandemic.
for basketball success.
ECU won the CIT that year, right?
They did.
So shouldn't we be national champions since
is
Louisville got theirs taken away?
They ended the season
Hang a banner
as a winner.
Yeah. Louisville
Hang
cheated.
the banner.
Kevin Ware broke his leg. Louisville cheated.
There's nothing like. I mean, you were talking about a basketball program that's had a handful of winning seasons in 50 years or something crazy. Like, just give me some success, man. It's crazy. They actually have the following they do. To be honest, like they're top 5 in the American in attendance with a program that's never won. All right,
it's because there's nothing else to do in Greenville, and every other team is in like a big metropolitan city where it's like, oh, we're FAU. The basketball team stinks. Oh, we'll just go hang out on the beach and look at cute girls. Here it's like, well, it's cold and it's Eastern North Carolina, and we don't even have a putt-putt course.
Hey, there's
We're going to get tweeted
it's
at.
An
this is
indoor
not a
one,
true pirate type talk.
I know, but it's...
We
have a bowling alley. Like, what the heck else is there to do in Greenville other than go to games?
ECU in the college football playoff, what would you guys sacrifice? What's the biggest thing that comes to mind? What would you give up for that to happen? Joe?
Do
me last. I'm trying to think of what I'd give up.
He's thinking of, like, he's debating which body parts he would cut off, I think, is what he's doing. Yeah, I would take a 5-win basketball season paired with a 25-loss baseball season in which we don't make the tournament.
I would take a winless ECU basketball season, a 5-win ECU baseball season, and a winless Denver Broncos season.
Ooh, for the Broncos? Yeah, I can't do that with the Panthers.
0-17, baby. Give it to me. Because the Pirates will be playing Alabama or whoever in the college football playoff.
Georgia.
Joe, do you need to break the think, or what do you got?
No, I got it here. I'd probably only bathe with water from the Tar River for a year, and I'd let the Jets single-handedly implode as an organization if it meant watching Mike Houston hold up the CFP title trophy, because I better be on that podium next to him as your crew or something else exclusive coverage, because we've been through the fire.
Sarah would break up with you, so there goes your future that you have planned for your life, because you've only bathed in the Tar River. But hey, you get a national championship, so
You would also be dead from some sort of fungus.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm like the catfish from Chernobyl. I just grow a third eye.
That's fair. All right, we got to get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show. Fun discussion here on this Friday. We'll be back to wrap it up.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job.
Woo!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and I go. How good is this? On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, final segment here. As we wrap up the show, Joe Samson is with us. Philip Pilkington producing. Final few minutes, we haven't discussed much MLB. My Seattle Mariners on the road at the Orioles, who trail the New York Yankees by a game. The Red Sox have kind of faded here recently. Phillips Red Sox 22-22 overall. The Yankees are hosting the White Sox, so a good weekend for them. You guys watched Paul Skeens last week make his debut. He pitches again today against the Cubs. So second career start, both against the Cubs. Joe, what do you make of Paul Skeens? How much did you enjoy watching him in his debut?
Everybody thinks it's because he's this high velocity pitcher. He's a command pitcher that happens to throw 102. The way his splinker, as he calls it, which is a sinker that he throws like a splitter, darts across the field, and he's looking for a lot of vertical run as opposed to the horizontal that a lot of those sinker throwers are looking for. So he's just got great command, a great feel for his pitches, and then the speed's going to overwhelm people also in the eye levels.
I was just amazed last week watching guys how good MLB hitters are. Not that he didn't pitch well, but like, Philip, they just make you work so much, right?
They do, and you saw it a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, I guess now with Jack Leiter's first start, how much he had to really work for it, and it didn't go so well. But yeah, I mean, Paul, he looked comfortable on the mound, but also like you could tell he was really having to focus in more than I've ever seen him have to pitch, and it's just a different ball game. But he was up to the task. He had a few more earned runs than he wanted to give up, but also those were mostly because the guy behind him came in and walked in all the guys that he inherited. So it was tough, but it was good to see a cute girl other than Taylor Swift for once.
Well said, well said. All right, somehow, guys, our time has already come to an end. Philip said it best in the break. We could have 2-hour, 3-hour shows on Fridays because we could discuss all these topics over the course of that. But
yeah, we haven't even talked NASCAR yet.
I know.
We're out of time. Darn it.
Who wins this weekend?
All-Star race. I go Larson goes back-to-back in the All-Star race.
Joe.
Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon's not even going
right.
to make the All-Star race.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we'll get out of here. Yeah, that reminds me we didn't have our NASCAR segment. We'll make up for it next week. There's just too much going on.
I know. I'll preview my trip that I will be taking.
Free Scotty.
There you go.
Free Scotty, yep.
Free Scotty Scheffler. He is free. He's on the golf course. He's just got 4 charges to deal with. Joe, appreciate you. Philip, thank you as always. It's been a fun week. We'll be back on Monday, 12 noon, looking ahead to the conference tournament for ECU baseball and more. See you then.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back Monday with more of Hoist the Colors on 943 The Game.